its heels to torture, but all the same place.
Hello, welcome to this weird little nook that I made in our makeshift closet, because we're moving. And I don't have any part of my apartment that looks even slightly aesthetically pleasing right now, so we're just gonna ignore it and move on. Hi. So I've been hearing a lot of noise recently, like static, voices that shout and demand more and more of me, more effort, more elegance, more just everything. Sometimes they're from strangers, but more often than not, they've been from the people closest to my heart, my support system. And it's draining. It's exhausting to know that these people love you, but sometimes it doesn't feel like love. It's heavier when it's coded in their expectations of you and who you are supposed to be. It's like everyone around me has this idea of what I am and what I will accomplish and how I will succeed, but no one ever asked or even bothered to tell me about it. And now, because I'm not following this perfect theoretical 10-step plan, I'm failing them. Then I get stuck dealing with guilt that I'm not quite what they expected. I feel like I grew up with this weight on my shoulders. I often still get told everything people wish I'd done when I was younger, or something that they wanted me to have accomplished by now. And it's difficult to navigate how to feel when the people who are meant to be your support system and cheer you on start to close in on you. And it starts to feel claustrophobic to be in your own skin. While thinking about this, a quote from Doc Lubin's Love Letters or Suicide Notes kind of popped into my head. And it's, how do we forgive ourselves for all the things we did not become? And it stuck with me ever since. I wondered about all the people I was once built up to become and just never did. Living under all of that pressure to succeed, but in somebody else's terms and not your own, I found myself opting to people please rather than stand up for myself, because sometimes it was safer. It required less strain overall, but then I shouldered all of the problems. I allowed all these expectations to pull me under to the point that I was willing to compromise what I believed in order to survive. But in doing so, I sacrificed my ability to live the way I wanted. In the long run, it was heartbreaking. It was hard enough trying to meet my own expectations, but then trying to consistently meet the expectations of others as well. It started to ruin a lot of my self-worth. But through the years, I've learned to say no. I've started to build myself again, and I've realized that I was never honest with my feelings because I feared retaliation. But not physical, it was like more mental and emotional. I was given all of these idealistic and unachievable expectations, which was devastating. I could never become what people desired me to be, and I felt like what I was achieving alone was never good enough. I felt like I was watching all my potential wash away, and now I don't know who I want to be anymore. But I've realized that it's not anybody else's decision but mine. I don't have to bend to other people's ideas of me. It's scary. Making a decision about your own emotional, mental, and spiritual health. It's a confusing gray area of love mixed with guilt and anxiety, exhaustions and quasi-manipulation, and unreciprocated emotional labor. And sometimes on top of that, it's incredibly lonely. But if you're out there listening and feeling these sorts of feelings, know your mixed feelings are valid. Even if they're about your family, even if they're just about your friends, they can be about strangers. Those feelings are valid. And I promise you, you are not hard-hearted or ungrateful, and you're not abandoning these people if you choose to walk away from them. Choosing to protect yourself and your mental well-being and your heart is never a volatile act. It all begins and ends with your mind. What you give power to, what has power over you, if you allow it, it will hold. And yes, change is terrifying because it's a double-ended sword of unknowns. You don't know where it's going, you don't know where it ends, but you can control where it begins. Taking a step away from people harming you or harming your self-worth is an act of self-care and self-preservation. So never feel guilty for helping yourself. It's taken a long time, and I'm still going pretty slow, but I've come to a place where I don't need to meet other people's personal expectations of me, and I don't need them to be proud of me, because I can be proud of myself. And if I am, that's enough. That's enough for me. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. It was really nice. And yeah, I really enjoyed just kind of creating this as a project for myself. Yeah, it was really therapeutic to kind of write this all out and do the bits of filming that I was able to do and kind of put it all together for other people to maybe absorb and enjoy. And yeah, I'm quite proud of it. All right, well, thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next one.